was going to say we're back, but Merry Christmas!
Indeed, Merry Christmas. It
Yeah.
is Christmas Day 2020. Well,
Yeah.
it isn't. Technically, it isn't.
So Santa probably broke his leg coming down a chimney.
Yeah.
Rudolph got COVID.
Mum's burnt the turkey.
Christmas 2020! Yay! So, today I thought we would do this as a little bit of a Christmas present to the two young lads involved. And just say thank you very much for the pre-label edition of Smokey Oaks.
Indeed.
From the Chilidren of the Valley.
So not Chilli of the Valley, Chillidren of the Valley.
Now, when I spoke to Dan in Fireside, any UK chili heads over on Facebook, go and join the group. You'll see there in the description the link that will take you through. We did some fireside chats, and I had a chat with Dan, and he was explaining this and why they did the whole thing. Okay, so they were doing like a kind of business studies thing at school, the two young lads, and they came up with the idea to develop a chili sauce. Now, I'm going to have a go at saying this. I'm doing this from memory. Was it Sanduku? The first one that they did? Sandoku?
It is, I think it's Sandoku.
Yeah. So that was their first sauce, okay? And they decided to donate all the, the revenue, if you like, the profits, to a local charity, which highly commendable. Okay. So it's come round again, and they're like,
they've developed a new one, haven't they?
Let's do another one. So this one, funnily enough, the first one was really quite hot. Okay, they're probably like daring each other. Yeah, put some more chili in. Right. The first one was really quite hot. This one, really quite mild. Now, this could be a coincidence, or it could be the fact that they both probably got belly cramps or something from the first
Well,
sauce.
while you're making these things, you need to keep tasting to get it right, don't you?
And I believe that the profits from this one are going towards is it an animal shelter? It's all in Fireside anyway, so yeah, click the link, follow it through, and go and watch that, because honestly, we were impressed. Okay, we thought these two lads, they're good lads.
Yeah, and I think it's it's the fact that it's the thought of having this go to charity.
Yeah,
I think it's a really lovely touch.
Very, very commendable.
But it's also fantastic to see kids getting involved, and especially from from what we understand with Dan, he's been there to support them.
Yeah.
But this is their own work.
Yeah.
They've done this themselves.
He's kind of been the guiding hand, if you like, to make sure that it's shelf stable and stuff like that. These flavours work together. That kind of sharing his experience there. But the lads themselves are the ones that are, behind the sauce. So, Smokey Oaks. In here, we have cider vinegar, candied sour black cherries in syrup, which is sour black cherries. I'm having to bend round the microphone boom. So,
do you want me to read it for you? I can read
sour black cherries, sugar, water, glucose syrup, sour cherry juice. It has anthocyanins, which are a colouring, but also an antioxidant, believe it or not. Citric acid, and some flavourings. And then we're back to the ingredients again. Brown sugar, water, tomato powder, bourbon whiskey, chipotle powder, 2%, salt, oregano, because I'm not American, and vanilla extract.
That's a really interesting flavour combination because that is proper fruity. Now you've made like a cherry sauce.
Yeah, black cherry. Black cherry and
that was black cherry and bourbon, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And you know, that was very much a dessert sauce
Yeah.
that you made there. So this has got some savoury elements to it. So, you know, the chipotle will give a much more savoury flavour.
Nice smoky flavour, hopefully.
The oregano, the little bit of tomato powder that's in there is all adding a nod to savoury. So I'm quite intrigued to see. So is this going to head down sort of a fruity barbecue sauce thing, or is it still going to be a fruity sauce that you would go for desserts with as well?
Well,
I'm intrigued.
I'm looking, and I can't see that anything that would traditionally be a barbecue sauce. So I'm not seeing like a molasses,
No.
for example. I'm not seeing the mustards for like the mustard barbecues. I'm seeing fruit, and then I'm seeing some savoury stuff. So I'm intrigued.
I'm really intrigued as to seeing which direction this has gone in.
So, I've smudged his writing, but
You're sweating with excitement, aren't you? I think it's worth pointing out as well, though, that the sauce is named after Dan's son, and I believe he was also responsible for the label design.
Yes,
as well.
yes. Unfortunately, because my editing software can't cope with this video format, I can't put the drawing up. But again, in the fireside, Dan shows it there. He shows the original sketch as well,
Yeah.
and how it became the label.
Yeah.
So
Why don't we put a link to Fireside in the description?
I could do that. Yeah. Why not?
There we go. Always helpful.
Modern technology.
But no, I think it's worth. I think it's a really lovely.
Have a smell of that.
It's a really
Yeah,
lovely
I'm
story
Getting
behind
ready
the
to pour
sauce.
it out, and I've not even let you smell it yet.
Oh wow. That chipotle. I'm getting fruity, but I'm getting. It's like wood smoke. Have you ever been to those like the open air museums where, you know, they rebuild all of the like medieval and the houses, and they have the wood fires going,
Yeah.
and it's that smoky like oak wood fire smell that you get in all of these little houses and outside and things like that. And that just, to me, just straight away, I just got an image of that in my head when I smelt it because of the smokiness from the chipotle.
So you're saying that Smokey Oaks smells like Smokey Oak?
Yeah, exactly that.
Which is probably a good thing.
It's a lovely colour as well, isn't it, from the cherries?
Ooh.
What a great consistency, though.
So we're tasting these on our Chase the Heat hot sauce tasting spoons, because you don't want to taint your Smokey Oaks, bro.
Oh, wow. I'm getting the bourbon now. And the oregano. Just subtly behind there. A little bit more of the vinegar.
It's interesting.
But it smells, it's the smokiness and that fruity smell.
So,
Let's give
cheers.
it a go. Ooh. That is interesting. Starts off with a real, you get the sweetness, and the smokiness kind of comes in straight away. Then I'm getting the herbs behind it, so the oregano, and then I start to get the tartness that's coming through. That could be the vinegar, it could be the like the sour part of the sour cherry. I'm just looking at the ingredients. There isn't vinegar on there, is there?
Yeah, cider vinegar.
Cider vinegar, yeah, it was, yeah. So I get all of that, but then there's just like that, because bourbon is a smoky whiskey, isn't it? Kind of.
No, Chipotle is probably where the smoke's coming from.
But bourbon, when I've had bourbon, if it's maybe done, it's the oak barrels or something like that. It might be in, but so I find there's a little bit of smokiness to bourbon whiskey, but you get that flavour of the whiskey going through. But it almost ends on a slightly savoury note.
I think I took a different bus to you on this particular journey. I started off and it was really smoky. And I'm like, wow. No, there's only 2% Chipotle in there. So I'm like, wow. That's had a big impact. So I'm on this like smoky little trip. Okay. And then it starts getting a bit fruity. And I was like, oh, okay. Now, I'm not sure how you've managed to get a barbecue kind of sauce flavour out of black cherries and Chipotle. But I was like, oh, okay, that's really good. Now I can imagine myself whacking that all over, you know, all sorts of grilled meat. Great. And then the sour note at the end. I'm like, it can't be the vinegar. The vinegar would have been more up front. Where's that coming from? Sour black cherries. Okay. So it's kind of that sour, kind of acidic little thing going on there. I'm like, this would work on grilled meats. Like, you imagine ribs, right? Ribs are quite fatty, or, you know, a big pork chop or something like that. Quite fatty. Having that little acidic note at the end really helps deal with that kind of
It's
cloying
like the
fat.
vinegar that you get in a barbecue sauce, isn't it? It
Yeah.
just happens at the end.
It just refreshes your palate. It just cleans your mouth for the next bite. And that's really quite clever. That is really quite clever. I think because it is fruity, it's going to lend itself well more to, I'm going to say, red meat
Yeah, but I could see
than
duck.
chicken and stuff like that.
Duck and things like that, I think it would
Duck,
go with.
pork,
It would lovely
with the
duck-
black
with
cherry.
duck.
Absolutely. Chicken, I think it would work, but I don't think chicken's got a strong enough flavour to
No.
kind of not be a bit lost.
If you were using it as an alternative to barbecue sauce, and you'd like to have barbecue sauce where you've
Dipping
had
it in there. And,
yeah, sort of, you know, like breaded chicken that maybe, you know, like a seasoned breaded chicken, so like a,
Yeah.
I don't want to say like a KFC, but you know what I mean, that
Yeah.
kind of thing, then absolutely it would work with that. A sort of southern fried chicken would lend itself well to that. Now, for me as well, it's almost verging on being mole. If it had chocolate in the ingredients there, that sort of the fruitiness that you've got with that, you know, it would actually almost be a mole. It's kind of sitting
Between the
being a
barbecue and
barbecue
mole.
sauce.
Kind
Yeah.
of, yeah.
But you know, whatever you used a mole for, you could probably use that for as well. It's really quite versatile, and it's sort of straddling two things, which kind of makes me look at it now, and the label makes sense to me.
So, heat for you?
I would say it's probably about a half. It's got a more surprising little tingle than I was expecting from the Chipotle, but it's that, as I said, you know, it's jalapeno heat, nice little tingle. Really enjoyed it. I would say half. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on the label, it's half out of 4. So, yeah, that'd be like, I don't know, 1 out of 8.
Yeah.
1.25 out of 10. So yeah, it's a fair rating for it. For us, we're a bit not normal when it comes to heat, so for us it's quite low down the scale. For somebody who's not used to chili, yeah, I think a 1 or 2 out of 10 for them.
But I don't think it will be too. It's not too scary for anybody. I think
No,
it's
no.
reasonably friendly.
Very accessible. Yeah,
for all ages.
Anybody could pick it up, and
The kids created it.
yeah,
It's made for kids by kids.
and for a good cause.
And for a very good cause as well, yeah.
Absolutely cracking.
An absolutely great sauce. Absolutely great sauce. Really, really like that. So been a privilege to be able to share that with you. Please check it out. Definitely go and check out Fireside, and you'll get the full story behind the sauce and the artwork.
So, chiliotv.co.uk, link in the description for Chili of the Valley. This, of course, is done by the Chillidren of the Valley.
Indeed.
So, well done to you both. Well done.
Yep. Looking forward to the next thing they come up with.
Yeah. Definitely get over and check them out. And yeah, I'm quite impressed with that. Well done. Well done indeed. But I think that's quite enough from us for now.
Indeed.
Thank you ever so much for watching.
Take care.
And we'll see you again in the next one. You threw me this time, didn't you? I'm going to Grinch. Right.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.